Good morning and welcome to Erasmus TV. How are international students doing during the corona pandemic? And how is the university preparing for their arrival in the next academic year? Our guests today are Rose Korver, Marketing and Communication Coordinator at the International Office, and Cara Sainsbury, Vice President and Marketing Manager at the Erasmus Student Network. And we start with you, Rose. Talking about the next academic year, do you know how many international students will come to our university?
It is hard to say, but there's one thing that we know, and that is that we already processed over 400 immigration procedures for non-EU students. So they will be coming in September. But for EU students, it's hard to say because they can travel across borders without an entry visa. So we don't really know about that yet.
But we hear that we have a lot of more students coming.
Yeah, actually, we had more applications than last year, so that's a good news. But how many will actually come to the campus is still a little bit uncertain.
Okay, and now, Cara, how are you and your fellow international students doing?
I think we're doing well. A lot of students went back home to their home country, and so they had to adjust to that. But I think now a lot of students who stayed here in the Netherlands and Rotterdam are excited to see the new academic year starting again. So hopefully in September and August there will be more happening again than the last few months have. And I'm doing fine myself as well.
Yeah. Did you get yourself a new hobby or a pet or a plant?
I actually moved, so I actually renovated a new apartment, and so I learned a lot about DIY and painting. So
Okay.
That's my
So
new hobby.
you've been busy.
Yes, very busy.
Well, Cara has been busy. Two international students, Annie and Riti, decided to go back to their home countries. Let's see how they experienced the last couple of months.
Hi, my name is Annie, I'm from Latvia and I'm first year student at Erasmus University. Ever since they announced that the lectures are going to be held online or that some of the borders are going to get closed, I packed a small bag and came back to Latvia, and that's where I've been ever since the pandemic started. When I came back home, it was pretty sad because I didn't have much to do, as I didn't have university to attend to or job I had because my new life at Rotterdam has suddenly stopped. I'm looking forward to a nice summer here at home, but I'm also very excited about the upcoming academic year back in Rotterdam, returning back to Rotterdam, and hopefully some of the things regarding university life are gonna be back to normal.
Hello everyone, my name is Riti Agarwal and I'm currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in MySoc and I'm a first year international student. So as soon as the university closed down, I decided to come back home and stay with my parents in Qatar, which is in the Middle East. Now that it's been almost 4 months, it does get difficult sometimes, it does get hard sometimes because I'm so used to seeing my friends every day. We would always study together or just grab a pizza and have a movie night, so I do miss that. But I considered myself to be blessed because I was able to come back home, and knowing me, I would have been bored out of my mind if I stayed alone in Rotterdam. So I would say I have mixed feelings about coming back home. For the upcoming year, I am pretty optimistic and I'm really looking forward to come back to Rotterdam and have fun, enjoy with my friends, and just have a good year in general.
So, Cara, do you recognize what they said in the video? The boredom, the loneliness?
Definitely, I think we've seen that a lot. We tried to organize some online events at the start of the pandemic, and we chatted to some students through like a speed friending platform, and we heard a lot that they really appreciated that we organized something so they had something to do on a Thursday night or a Monday night. But as time went on, of course, like that also becomes a routine and becomes a little bit boring.
Yeah.
So again, we have that means that we just had to reinvent some certain things, but definitely recognize what they're feeling. I felt the same, I think.
You felt the same. But ESN has also a buddy project where you match a new student with another international student who already live here in Rotterdam. And is this your way to combat the loneliness?
Yeah, it's one of the ways that we combat loneliness. The buddy program is actually a really nice tool for students that are all across the faculties to meet each other. So students who are new in the city will get matched up with a person who has been in the city, an international student or a Dutch student, for a little bit longer. Okay. And they also then spend some time together as a more of a guiding place for them to be, so if they have questions or something like that.
But do you think the project has become more important during the crisis for international students?
I would hope so. I'm just not entirely sure how the project will take shape, as we think that the project is very much geared towards the physical activities, like how do I get onto public transport, how does that work, and we're not entirely sure how it would take shape in an online setting, but we hope that we can maybe facilitate that in the new academic year.
Yeah, and Rose, you are a contact person for incoming international students. What kind of questions or worries have you come across?
Well, mainly we get a lot of questions about, well, at the moment, new incoming students about, for example, their immigration procedure. When is my entry visa ready or my residence permit? Did you already receive my living fee? More of practical concerns like that. Also about housing. But the good news is that we still have housing available for next year on campus.
The first time in years.
Yes, the first time in years, actually. So I'm actually happy about that. So we can still welcome students here on campus to live here. Yeah. And well, we also received some concerns about paying the rent because, well, the COVID pandemic had an impact also on the financial situation of students. Yeah. So yeah, we receive many sorts of questions. Yes.
But how will you welcome the international students in this Corona time? What will be different?
Well, usually we have a soft landing program, which is mainly physical. But this year it will be a blended form, so online and physical. Mm-hmm. For example, the official welcome, which is normally here in the auditorium, that will be online because it is not possible to have a large group of students in one room. But registration at the City Hall, at the one-stop shop, will be physical in the large sports hall of Erasmus Sport. So yeah, it will be a blended version this year, but it will definitely be different than other years, yes.
And Cara, the international office have to switch to mainly online activities. Is this also the case with ESN?
Yes, we also have a introductory period right after the Eureka Week, actually, specifically geared towards international students to show them around the city. And we'll definitely also have an online version and a offline version of it, so students can sign up to be online because they can't be in Rotterdam, and they can be online because they don't feel comfortable being physically present during the days, or they can totally experience the full 3 days, 4 days with both the online and offline activities. So that will be very, very nice. And
so there will be no party because it's not an introduction week without the party.
That's very true. We'll probably try and do a collaboration with our partner Café Beurs, where we do a more of a drink, so like a borrel, which is the Dutch term for it. So not a party until late, like a clubbing evening, but more of a relaxed outside on the terrace drink, which will be really nice.
But do you think the next academic year will be a good year, despite the circumstances?
I definitely think so. The board that is coming after me is very motivated to make a really interesting year, and will want to move towards a place where everybody feels comfortable participating in whatever social activity that they would like.
Do you already have ideas or plans for next year?
Many different ideas are circulating. We tried to give a lot of creative freedom to our committee members, so we'll see what actually comes of the ideas. But many different ideas of outside spaces, 1.5 meter activities, online pub quizzes, for example. So yeah, a lot of things.
Yeah. And Rose, do you agree with Cara that it will be a good year after all?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. All students are welcome here. And as you already heard, ESN is organizing many fun activities. We encourage students to sign up for the buddy program as well, because that's really helpful in getting to know the city and getting to know your fellow students. And the Netherlands is actually a relatively nice country to live in during a pandemic. It's many things are your own responsibility, and I think it is a nice place to be here. Yeah.
And do we have a corona measure for students who are coming here to the Netherlands?
Yes, students who are traveling from a country with an orange color, so called by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they have to go into a 14-day quarantine. And the international office is actually right now setting up quarantine services for students who have to live in quarantine for 14 days. For example, how can I get my groceries, keeping in touch with other students online or with the international office. So that's to be continued. Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
We'll be waiting. And the last question for both of you. Do you have some tips for internationals, both here in Rotterdam or those who are coming?
Well, for those who are coming, I can say arrange your housing on time, prepare that, arrange your insurance as well before traveling here. So be sure that you're insured while you're traveling. And the only thing I can say is you're welcome here, and I hope that many students will come to Rotterdam next year.
And Cara?
I would say that you just, if you are coming to Rotterdam, to have try and have the best time that you can. Don't feel pressured into anything. Make sure that you feel most comfortable in the activity or the social program that we try to organize, or any other association on campus. And if you are not joining us in Rotterdam, or if you're joining us online, then that's also, of course, you're more than welcome, and we'll try to facilitate as much as possible for you.
Okay, so you are all welcome, and thank you, Rose and Cara, for being here, and thank you all for watching. Don't forget to visit our website erasmusmagazine.nl. I'll see you next time.